and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's Good Morning
Bay.
Good morning, Bay. आप सभी लोग हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते,
नमस्कार.
वनकम,
नमस्कार.
खुशामदीद,
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
सत श्री अकाल,
మీకు అందరికీ వందనము.
जय स्वामीनारायण,
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय जिनेंद्र.
मैं इस्माइल भाई बंधु को बोलते याली मदद.
मनाली मतलब बोलते हैं सारे फीजी हम बंदलों को बोलेंगे नीसा बुला बरजान. हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारे. मैं से फालतू बा.
And of course, myself, Faltu Rani, lekar aapke liye ek aur drive time show that's going to make it totally exciting and totally mastani bandu jane.
And of course, without any further ado, we bring to you traffic update, which we call Raste Ka Haal Total Sustainment.
It's time for the Bandu Traffic Update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
Yeah, Barajan, Bandu Traffic Update, and 2021 is running away right now. Tomorrow is the last day for the Congress convention to certify or ratify the President Biden, as President Biden as opposed to just candidate Biden, right? Or called President-elect Biden. But we'll get you more information about it tomorrow. Barajan, traffic-wise, look at it, still COVID situation right now going on, as in the traffic is not very heavy, not to worry about it. If you're going on the bridge, watch out for the fog. That's right, Bajan, it's fog on 80 bridge, and also fog is reported on the Golden Gate bridge. Golden Gate bridge, you might say, oh, always foggy. Well, Bajan, fog actually leads to accidents, and there's an accident actually near the Mill Valley. Yeah. Seminary Drive, just the end of the Golden Gate Bridge with that. So watch out for that for sure. Otherwise, South Bay is looking clear. There's no mention of anything in terms of an accident or a traffic, blockage somewhere, because everybody is responsibly sheltering in place. How is that, Fatani? Responsibly sheltering in place, huh?
I don't know how many people are actually responsibly sheltering in place.
Hey, many people are, because they are getting the news about what's happening with the COVID situation. I don't know, Fatani, even the vaccination part of it. Have they not reached the critical mass of vaccination as yet?
No, of course they've not. It's completely slowed down.
Oh my goodness gracious. But I'll tell you, it's going to be a cold day today. There's going to be some dense fog pretty much in the Bay Area. Coastal side for sure. It's going to be kind of cloudy, not very sunny, but it's going to be good weather anyways. We should be thankful that we have some good weather here in California, Bajan. But right now, let's go quickly take a look at what's happening in the news. Fatwani.
All right, Alto Baba. Anyone who gets the coronavirus vaccine must get both doses for it to be effective. FDA officials have said yesterday. There was some speculation and there was some discussion with regard to half dosing. So that
half dosing? What?
Yeah. So in order to be able to give the vaccine to more people.
That's not fair.
But apparently it's not safe, and that's what FDA officials are saying. It seems like a no-brainer, but the slow rollout of vaccines across the U.S. has led to speculation that foregoing or delaying a second dose could stretch the amount of available vaccine. So far, the US has administered 4.5 million doses when they were supposed to have done 20 million doses by now. Meanwhile, lockdowns are shuttering parts of Europe again. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson imposed a harsh lockdown across England that will last at least through the middle of February. Italy also imposed new lockdowns, and Germany is considering extending coronavirus restrictions. It's all to avoid situations like we're seeing right now in Los Angeles County, where 1 out of 5 people tested for coronavirus is positive.
My goodness. And of course, just speaking about Los Angeles County, she came already to the California part of it. I want to give you some information or numbers about what's happening over here in Santa Clara, Fatwani. You want to share something else?
Yeah, the situation in Los Angeles is so dire, Alto Baba. Even here in Santa Clara County, ambulance drivers are now being told not to transport patients who have little chances of survival. So let's say you had a heart attack and you went into a coma or whatever, right? They will not revive you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that bad.
Yeah, it's really... Anyway, but I'll tell you one thing, why it's bad, even bad right now, is the fact that, if you look at exponentially, it's growing. I said, right, every day, we are actually going up in number of cases. Santa Clara County is almost increased. There have been 864 cases. That's almost 1.2% more than what it was previous day. Right?
Oh, wow.
The state average, if you look at, also is 1.2. The new cases are 29,000 cases in in a day. Every day we get 29,000 new cases of coronavirus. It means that there's more fodder for the virus to chew on and try to meet it also. Now,
Right.
speaking of mutations, we talked about last time, right, Faltwani? There's one more thing, which is that, they say that already is coming to the US, the mutant which is there from variant in, I think it's coming to the US, but no data as in terms of where exactly it's found and everything. But there was also a 44th person has tested positive for the coronavirus after an outbreak at the Kaiser in San Jose.
What?
Yes, there's been an outbreak in Kaiser, and that's what they're talking about. We'll share more information for you guys on that for sure. And on I don't know what's called a positive note now, but today is the day. Today is the day all small businesses can go and check out. The date for the relief grant program is today. Today it's opened up, so I don't know when it's going to close out. There's going to be second round also. Don't get disheartened. Only $5,000. Whatever it is, just go check it out. It's called the relief grant. We'll post it on mediamahima.com again. Go check it out there. We'll provide the links for you guys to apply if you haven't already applied. There are a bunch of partners you can work with. Even that information is there in that when you go to the blog mediamahima.com.
Carrying on a nationwide front, Panajan, with regard to the COVID vaccine, more than 2/3 of the 15 million of coronavirus vaccines that have been shipped within the United States have gone unused. U.S. health officials said on Monday, as the governors of New York and Florida vowed to vote to penalize hospitals that fail to dispense shots quickly. In New York, hospitals must administer the vaccines within a week of receiving them or face a fine and a reduction in future supplies, Governor Andrew Cuomo said hours before announcing the state's first known case of a new, more infectious coronavirus variant originally detected in Britain. I don't want the vaccine in a fridge or a freezer. I want it in somebody's arm, the governor said. If you're not performing this function, it does raise questions about the operating efficiency of the hospital. That was my poor imitation of Cuomo. New York hospitals on the whole have dispensed fewer than half of their allocated doses to date, but performance varied from one group of hospitals to another. Cuomo said the New York City Health and Hospital System, the city's main public hospital network, has only administered 31% of its allotment, compared with the 99% for a few private hospitals in the state. CDC is also reporting, the US CDC is also reporting an even lower vaccine uptake for New York overall, saying fewer than 1 in 5 of the 896,000 doses shipped to the state since mid-December have actually been given. So why are they sitting on it? We don't know, but hopefully we'll get some answers soon. Let's go on over and let's talk about somebody else who is causing quite a bit of heartache in this country. Pledging to stay in the White House, Trump is urging Pence to come through to steal a second term. Pledging that he would fight like hell to remain in the White House, a desperate U.S. President Donald Trump called on his Vice President Mike Pence to come through to illegally award him a second term, even as his supporters began descending on the Capitol on Tuesday for rallies. Authorities fear will be provocative and violent, contending that there are people intent on coming to our city armed. Authorities in Washington, D.C., a Democratic-run city, mobilized the National Guard as Trump supporters, many from white supremacist and racist groups, arrived in the city for the so-called, quote, "Stop the Steal," unquote, rallies outside the White House on Tuesday and Wednesday. But by all accounts, except those in the conspiratorial extreme right circles, it is Trump who is trying to steal the election. In a rally in Georgia on Monday, a shrill Trump raised the pitch, asking the Vice President Pence, who's tasked at a joint session of Congress on Thursday with formally recognizing Joe Biden as the winner of the presidential election that has been certified by the states, to defy the state's verdict and declare Donald Trump the winner. Wow. I hope my Pence comes through for us. He's a great guy. Of course, if he doesn't come through, I won't like him quite as much, Trump said at a rally aimed at canvassing support for two Republican Senate candidates in Georgia. How is that?
Very bad.
Losing both seats in the runoff elections on Tuesday will pass control of the Senate, current 50-48 in Republican hands, to the Democrats. So, voters streamed to polling sites in Georgia on Tuesday in a pair of runoff elections that is going to determine control of the Senate. And Republican Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler are facing Democratic challengers Jon Ossoff, who's actually a filmmaker, and Reverend Raphael Warnock, a pastor at a black church in Atlanta, in a state Biden narrowly carried against the Republican Trump in the November 3rd presidential election. It has been a tumultuous contest, setting records for campaign spending and early turnout in Georgia, and its final days have been dominated by Trump's continued effort to subvert the presidential election results. We talked about it yesterday as to how he pressurized Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, a fellow Republican, to find the votes to reverse Biden's victory, falsely claiming massive fraud. So the next bit of news that we have for you, Banajan, is that remember we talked about Kenosha, Wisconsin, Altobaba, and that teenager who was one of those militia groups, Kyle Rittenhouse. Remember him?
Yeah.
Who was charged with fatally shooting 2 men and wounding a third at a demonstration in Kenosha, Wisconsin in August. He's expected to plead now not guilty on all counts at an arraignment on Tuesday, his lawyer said. Rittenhouse was first charged with first-degree reckless homicide and 5 other criminal counts related to the shootings, which occurred on August 25th at a demonstration that followed the fatal shooting of a black man, Jacob Blake, by a white police officer days earlier. So he now faces trial in Kenosha County, where he's going to plead not guilty on all counts. How? We have it on tape, right? That he actually killed, and he's going to.
We don't have it. They have it on tape. But when it's they, you don't know what they did.
Right. So, Altu, did you wonder whether it was illegal for President Donald Trump to be pressurizing a Georgia election official to find the votes?
Are you telling me if I wondered? No, I didn't wonder because I know it is illegal.
Well, is it?
It is.
Well, there is an explainer that Reuters did, which we'll share on MediaMahima.com, Bandajan. In this, according to some legal experts, President Donald Trump may have broken a U.S. federal law and a Georgia law against election tampering by pressuring the state's top election official to find enough votes. People are saying if this was any other time in history, both Republican leaders and Democratic leaders would ask the president to resign.
Yeah.
Saying that this is enough, you need to go, you need to stop this. But at this time, unprecedented times, Bandajan, nobody has stepped up and said that he shouldn't be doing it. Nobody has decried it. It's literally crickets.
Hello. Why you say nobody? I've decried it. I have said no, step down.
Yeah.
Supreme leader, not right now.
Exactly. The experts also outlined a potential legal defense for Trump and predicted that the prosecution of him arising from Saturday's telephone call with Georgia Secretary of State Raffensperger, a fellow Republican, would be unlikely. Trump told Raffensperger, "All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have." According to a transcript of the call, the White House has declined to comment on this particular call. The laws that may have been broken is the state law, which says criminal solicitation to commit election fraud. That makes it illegal for a person to intentionally solicit, a request, command, or otherwise attempt to cause another person to engage in election fraud. The federal law makes it illegal to attempt to deprive or defraud people of a fair and impartially conducted election process. So more on that you'll get on MediaMahima.com. In terms of California, Banajan, Altobaba already shared, California has extended the deadline for small businesses to ask for a grant to help get through the COVID-19 crisis after the program was overwhelmed with applications, officials said. The Small Business COVID-19 Grant Relief Program offers grants ranging from $5,000 to $25,000. And it opened on December 30th. Due to the high traffic, some businesses may have had trouble accessing the application, the state's Office of Business and Economic Development said in a statement late on Monday. The deadline will now be extended by 5 days to January 13th. And this is part of Governor Gavin Newsom's $500 million scheme that he announced in November. Apple Inc. on Tuesday has said that they named Monica Lozano Chief Executive Officer of the College Futures Foundation to their board. Lozano also serves on the boards of Target and Bank of America Corp. Chip giant Qualcomm, also the biggest supplier of mobile phone chips said on Tuesday that they named their president and chief division head, Cristiano Amon, as their new chief executive. So you can get more information about that on mediamahima.com. And in a sudden U-turn yesterday, Banjan, the New York Stock Exchange said it no longer intends to delist 3 Chinese giant telecom companies. A shocking reversal of an announcement made only last week and deepening confusion over a U.S. crackdown on firms linked to the Chinese military. Do we have time for news from India, Altaba?
Of course we do. Let's go on.
Quickly, Bandajan, Indian troops are well entrenched to counter any misadventure in the eastern Ladakh after China forcibly changed the status quo on the line of actual control last year, escalating the situation by utilizing unorthodox weapons and amassing large number of troops, says the Defense Ministry. Unilateral and provocative actions by the Chinese to change the status quo by force in more than one area on the LAC were responded to in a firm and non-escalatory way, ensuring the sanctity of our claims in eastern Ladakh, says the Ministry of Defence's year-end review. They're saying that while the Indian Army is prepared for any eventuality, talks are also in place to resolve this issue in an amicable manner. The Ministry of Defense adds, blaming China for escalating tensions despite India adhering to all protocols and agreements between the two countries. And UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson was supposed to be the special guest at the Republic Day celebrations on Jan 26th, which always happens, right? We have a international guest, but now he has cancelled or postponed his trip to India, citing the need to oversee the pandemic response back home in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And also one news item that broke, which I think is very interesting, Altababa, is about the Covaxin that Bharat Biotech has put in place. They are saying that they may have an edge against the new virus variants. How? Hyderabad-based Bharat Biotech has asserted that Covaxin can be more effective against mutant strains of the virus amid doubts over the efficacy of the indigenously developed vaccine. Opposition leaders as well as experts have questioned the government's hasty approval to the India-made vaccine without the publication of the phase 3 trial data. The company's chairman and managing director, Dr. Krishna Ella, said that emergency use authorization of Covaxin is justified since it can be more effective against newer strains like the one detected in the United Kingdom recently. They're saying it's still a hypothesis. In a week, they will give out the data, and they're confident that this is going to actually work, apparently.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll work.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel, why do we drag politics into this? The opposition is just opposing it because it's an indigenously developed vaccine.
Opposition because it's actually something that's been done when their opposition is in power.
Yeah, exactly. And let's not forget, most number of the doctors in the world are probably Indians, right?
That's true.
So let's have faith in that particular vaccine, and hopefully they're saying that India is planning to vaccinate every citizen by August, Altababa.
Yeah, fall, yeah, pretty much.
So
you can.
Yeah. So that's all we have time for on this morning's Good Morning Babe and Jan. We're going to tell you that we will be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. But we're going to leave you with this beautiful song from
Lucknow Central. Don't worry about things, Baljan. Just do what you got to do. Mask up. Make sure you keep 6 feet distance. Wash your hands. Stay hygienic. Stay healthy. And बाकी सब रब पे छोड़ देना please. इसी के साथ बोलने वाले हम लोग. Have a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you in the evening with the Pam Pam Show live at 5.
ये फार्मूला भाई करता जा तू ट्राई. ये फार्मूला भाई करता जा तू ट्राई. बी पॉजिटिव टूटे दिल के पुर्जे जोड़ के पुर्जे जोड़ के फिकर भुला के डांस कर बाकी रब पे छोड़ दे. डांस कर बाकी रब पे छोड़ दे. फिकर भुला के डांस कर बाकी रब पे छोड़ दे. देसी या फिर डांस कर बाकी रब पे छोड़ दे.